Hi, I'm Sarah. This is Turn Back Time, day 46, and I made it to £177 dead with no extras, just £177, just above 80 kilos, but so close. My measurements are creeping down, just lost 1/4 of an inch off one calf, but again I can see muscles appearing that were not there before in places where the tape measure doesn't loop. So I'm very, very, very happy today. I still struggle to make that 11.5 protein blocks. I'm trying to eat the least bulky foods, but still no, you might have better luck than me. In an earlier podcast, I mentioned the fact that 9 out of 10 of us have Epstein Barr Virus dormant in our blood, and I explained how it manifests. What I didn't say was that the first time I ever learned about it was from a guy called Anthony William, who's a medical medium. And that basically means that he can see what's wrong with you while looking at you from the outside. And that might be a bit too out there for some of you, but what he had to say and how he explained it was so life-changing for me that I ended up reading for 8 hours straight. Then by complete coincidence, if there are any, I was invited to a medical conference in New York, where they told me exactly the same thing. It was like every single illness anyone has was suddenly being explained, and it was caused by Epstein Barr. But the most stunning thing was that William was getting people out of bed who'd been bedridden for years simply by using celery. Seriously. He documents it in this book, and he makes it quite clear that in his mind, celery is as much of a miracle food as broccoli, maybe more. I don't really eat that much celery, and I'm not even sure if I like it, but I'm not sure that matters. It seems our body just needs it. William says celery juice heals the gut, balances our blood sugar, our blood pressure, and our adrenal function, flushes all the toxins from the liver and the brain, and can cure so-called autoimmune disorders like MS, as well as diabetes, eye disorders, ADHD, eczema, and even addictions. His list just goes on and on. Sylvester Stallone, Novak Djokovic, Robert De Niro, Gwyneth Paltrow, they all swear by it, and his list of celebrity followers is almost as long as his list of the things that he claims celery heals. William goes so far as to say there isn't a symptom, condition or illness or addiction that doesn't benefit from celery juice. The power is in what it contains: pathogen-fighting sodium cluster salts, digestive enzymes, endocrine-balancing plant hormones, vitamin C in a form which doesn't need processing before it can be taken up by the body, and which can attach to those sodium cluster salts to get all around the body. Those sodium cluster salts remove toxic salts that may have been in your organs for years. They also remove any heavy metals in the body, along with any parasites, any bacteria and viruses. Celery basically works alongside your immune system. It can eradicate streptococcus. It rejuvenates the liver. Celery is a complete electrolyte, which means that it allows electricity and information to flow from cell to cell in the body. It can restore neurotransmitter chemicals in the brain. It's like celery juice can just turn on blown light bulbs in your brain. It contains a plant hormone that feeds and replenishes every gland in our hormonal endocrine system. It enters, strengthens and stabilizes the thyroid, according to William. If your thyroid is underactive, it brings it back into balance. It also balances reproductive hormones if you're trying to have a baby. Celery does not contain any particular digestive enzyme. Instead, it has an enzyme in it which restores all the other digestive enzymes. It also breaks up all undigested food in the body and clears it all out of you. So if you start drinking celery juice every day, you'll find, he says, all pain disappears, all tummy upsets disappear. You can use it as a prophylaxis, but also use it if you feel yourself coming down with something. Celery juice can also reinvigorate and cleanse the skin, even getting rid of eczema and psoriasis. And William claims it cures menopause symptoms believing that hot flushes and night sweats are caused by a stagnant liver, which celery gets moving again. I could go on and on. He does. You'll have to get the book. Cataracts, conjunctivitis, corneal disease, and that's just the C's. To make your juice, if you've been inspired like I have, just get a bunch of celery, organic if possible, cut the base off and the tops and the leaves, rinse it, put it in a juicer, a masticating juicer if you have one, or you can cut it into pieces and put it in a blender. Strain the juice and drink it on an empty stomach within 24 hours because it loses potency by the hour. And don't eat for 30 minutes afterwards. You should not dilute it at all. Water renders it useless. And don't add anything else to make it palatable. And if you're buying it, don't get anything pasteurized or anything with any other ingredients in it other than celery. Well, I'm going to try it. What have we got to lose? William recommends at least 16 ounces a day. I'd like to make it clear this podcast is not sponsored by the celery lobby, although I think Anthony William may have bankrolled that lobby single-handedly since 1975. Go and see what you think.